Welcome back to another episode of Health Hacks as I continue talking this month about key nutrients. And up until now, I've been talking about key minerals. And today I'm going to turn to talking about omega 3s. Now, our body does not make omega 3s or omega 6s for that matter. And so it's really important that we do get these through our food and or supplementation. And the body wants to be in balance, and there's an ideal ratio for your omega 6s relative to your omega 3s, and that is 5 omega 6s to every 1 omega 3 that you are taking in. Now, back in our hunter gatherer days, the food sources at that time, it was only 3 to 1. The reality is that what we see clinically in lab results is that the average North American is at 18 to 1 omega 6s to omega 3s. And omega 6 is our inflammatory essential fatty acid, and omega 3s are our anti-inflammatory essential fatty acid. And when we have too many of the inflammatory, our body literally becomes inflamed. And that imbalance is occurring because our processed food industry is full of omega 6s. All of the foods are using oils that are high in omega 6s, whereas getting omega 3s is much harder. And omega 6s are not only in processed foods, they're in many, many foods because they are in commonly used oils in high doses, such as safflower oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, sesame oil, and peanut oil. All of those are quite high in omega 6s with absolutely no omega 3s in them. And as a result, if your food is cooked in any of those oils, you are getting omega 6s. Omega 3s are harder to get. They are in our wild fatty fish. Those are our best sources, and most people are not eating enough of that in order to counter the high intake of omega 6s, and so our bodies get out of balance. Good sources of omega 3s are wild salmon, mussels, sardines, anchovies, black cod, Pacific halibut, rainbow trout, Arctic char, rockfish, oysters, catfish. And there are also some plant-based sources as well, such as flax, chia seeds, walnuts, marine algae, pumpkin seeds. Although the body has to go through an extra process to convert those because that's producing something called ALA, and that has to then be converted into omega 3s within the body. And so you have to eat a lot more of it in order for it to be of benefit to you. Now, with our omega 3s, they are highly beneficial for your brain health, your cell health, your nail hair health, your skin health, your heart health. There's so many benefits to these. And in fact, on the lab test that we run, we do have a lab test that looks at the inflammation levels in your body by comparing omega 6s to omega 3s. And right on the results of that lab test, it will show that when you bring your omega 3 levels to being optimal, it reduces your risk of sudden death by heart attack by 90%, 90%. Now that's huge. And the other sad factor is that 80% of North Americans are deficient in their omega 3s. So if this is something that you would like to know more about, please reach out, melissa@yourguidedhealthjourney.com. We can run a lab test. We can also talk about good quality omega 3s, talk about the EPA, the DHA ratio, all too much for me to talk about in one little video. I just want to pique your interest in, are you getting enough omega 3s in your diet? And would you benefit from ensuring that you are getting the right amount so that you can enjoy all of those benefits you get from omega 3s that I talked about? So reach out if you'd like to know more.